Hi guys, welcome to yet another session from Fast Track German with your German tutor Silas Jumper. So last time we learned the personal pronouns. We are going to continue from there, and today we are going to look at the conjugation of regular verbs in German. Now in German, most verbs end with en. Let's say majority of the verbs, like more than 98% of the verbs end with en. So when you see a word ending with en, the likelihood that it's a verb is very high, very high. And verbs in their infinitive form, meaning their original form, end with en mostly. So we are going to look at how to conjugate regular verbs. So we'll start with the subtopic conjugation. Conjugation. I always say repeat after me. At the end of the day, you will gather a lot of pronunciation tips as we progress with these grammar lessons. Conjugation. J is Y sound, so don't forget that. Conjugation. A is always R sound. So anytime you see A in German, it's R sound. Put your English aside for now. Conjugation. T is always T. I is E. O is O. Just follow the alphabet and you'll be able to pronounce everything in German perfectly without stress. Conjugation. That's conjugation. Conjugation. We're going to start with regular verbs. Regular verbs are called, in German, regelmäßige Verben. Regelmäßige Verben. This time around, the V will not sound as F because this is a very common word borrowed from the English language. So Verben, just like how English say verbs. So regelmäßige Verben. Regelmäßige Verben means regular verbs. So we have two categories of verbs. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. We're going to start with regular verb conjugation. Now, as the name depicts, regular, it means they follow a regular pattern, definite pattern, a pattern that you can copy and transfer to another word perfectly without any stress. So once I show you how to go about it, it means you can transfer the knowledge and do your own, and you'll be absolutely correct no matter what. That is why we call them regular. They follow a pattern that's what is recognizable and is transferable, and it's always correct every time you follow the pattern. So this is the easy one we are starting with. So regelmäßige Verben. Now to conjugate, I'm going to be using tables to make it easy for me to demonstrate it to you. Now I'm going to take the verb machen. Machen means to do or to make. To do or make. To do or make or to make. This is the infinitive form. Infinitive is the original form, untouched. Original form, untouched. Good. Now to conjugate, you need to write down or list down your personal pronouns. That is how we do it. So when we talk of conjugation, we use the personal pronouns to do the conjugation. So I'm going to write down my personal pronouns. Ich, du, oder sie. Oder means or in German. Oder. Oder sie. Oder es meaning he or she or it. Oder sie. Oder as I said, oder means or in German. Oder is this. This is how we spell it. Or in German. Or. Oder. Okay, now oder sie oder es, he, she or it. The reason why we group them together is because their conjugation is the same. They fall under the category third person singular, and third person singular conjugations are always the same. That's why we've grouped them together. So you use the same conjugation for he, she, it in every case for every verb. Okay, so from es we go to wir, which is the we. Then we go to ihr, which is the you plural informal. Then we go to small z is the they, and big Z is the you formal. The you formal. So this is our format for the conjugation. So I've listed the pronouns here, but you can see that I've categorized some together, like the he, she, they are third person singular. The conjugation is the same, and the they and you formal below two are also the same conjugation or have the same conjugation. That is why I've grouped them together. So this is how we usually conjugate verbs in German. So now, to conjugate machen, to do, the verb machen, to do. So we start. Now I'm going to go with the basic way of doing this, so that the layman can, even somebody who hasn't really had a high level of education, can, be able to follow the pattern, the simplest form possible. I'm going to use the very basic method, and as we progress, I'm going to spike it up. I'm going to move a bit faster. By that time, you guys have already gotten the pattern. Okay, so follow closely. Now, let's say, you see, the endings of the verb, like I already said, is en. So most verbs have this en ending. Good. So let's take the en in focus. So we are going to omit the en and write the framework without the en. So if I'm to do that, then it means I'll end up with this: mach, throughout. Yeah, so this is the framework without the en ending. So watch closely. Yeah. So that is it. Good. Now, what do we do then? For each, you add e to it. So I'm highlighting what we are adding to the framework. For do, always add st. Good. St. For szs, that's he, she, it, add t. For we, which is wir, we add en. Now, basically, the wir is back to original or the infinitive. Always. The wir is always like the infinitive, en ending. Always. The ear looks like the third person singular. So also t. And the zz's, the they and the you formal, they also go back to the original en. So we can conclude by saying that for regular verbs, or for every verb at all, okay, for every verb at all in the language, whether regular or irregular, the wir, which is the we, and the they and you formal conjugations are likened to the original, and then we en all the time. You can be 100% sure of that. So like I said, wir and the zz's, which is they and you formal, always have the same conjugation as the infinitive. So it's just like a copy of the original, always, for wir, the we, and the they and you formal. Keep that. Okay. So that is it basically. So I hope you watched how we did it. Now the pronunciation, repeat after me. Machen means to do or to make. Then we have ich mache, I do or I'm doing. Du machst, you do or you are doing. Oder sie oder es macht, he or she or it does or is doing. Wir machen, we do or we are doing. Ihr macht, you do or you are doing. Sie machen oder sie machen, they do or you formal do or are doing. That is how it works. Okay. You realize that I'm using the present and present continuous tense, right, for the translation in English. Yes, because in German, every verb represents its present and present continuous tense at the same time. You don't have to add anything to it. No direct translation. That is something that we'll be focusing on when we come to the sentence formation after this conjugation, after these lessons on the conjugation. So, yeah. hang around, you'll get to the bottom of that as well. Okay, let's go to the next verb conjugation. Now I'm going to use gehen. Gehen means to go. The verb to go in infinitive is gehen in German. Gehen, pronouncing the words after me, very important. Gehen. End of the day, you should be able to capture the pronunciations and the meanings of everything and understand what is going on. Gehen, to go. Gehen, to go. So to conjugate, as usual, the framework, which are what? The personal pronouns listed nicely. with a gehen, we start with this. So what did I say in the first situation? I said let's highlight the ending en, and we are going to write the framework without the en. And after that, then we add the endings, and you see what I'm talking about. So if you do that, then it means we end up with this ge as the framework. The next one will be also like that. So ge throughout is the framework. Ge. Okay. This is the framework. Then what do I do? For ish, I add what? E to the ending. For do, I add what? ST. For AZS, I add T. For VIE, EN. Be looking at the left side, left hand side. For EA, I add what? T, just like the third person. For Z or the Z, the day and new formal, I add EN. Back to the original. So let me highlight them so that you compare the two and see that there's no difference between the endings for each pronoun at every level. It's what we call conjugation of regular verbs. So you see, now compare the left side, the left hand side and the right hand side. You realize that the endings for the verbs are the same or identical. Yeah, this is how we conjugate a regular verb. So let's go through the pronunciation as well. Gehen, to go. Ich gehe, I go or I am going. Du gehst, you go or you are going. Oder sie oder es geht, he or she or it goes or is going. Wir gehen, we go or we are going. Ihr geht, you plural go or are going. Sie oder sie gehen means they or you formal go or are going. That is how it works. Okay, so that is the first part. Okay, so that is it. Let's look at two other conjugations. Then I give you some list of verbs that you can look at and conjugate in your own free time. Now let's look at another verb, which is kommen, to come. To come. To come. Now we have this as well. So like I said, the framework, try the framework. So take away the en, then just write the framework. Now that's the most basic way, but I'm sure some of you have already captured the pattern and can just go straight away. So just the framework, still using the basics. Then with H, you add E. We do ST. With SES, T. With VIE, EN. With EAR, T. With Z or the Z, EN. Good. So you can see they are all identical at every level. That is using what? The pronouns as our guide. So we conjugate verbs for each pronoun being used in a sentence. That is what we call subject verb agreement, or basically conjugation in this lesson. So let's go through the pronunciation as well. So kommen, to come. Kommen, to come. Ich komme, I come or I'm coming. Du kommst, you come or you are coming. Oder sie oder es kommt, he or she or it comes or is coming. Wir kommen, we come or we are coming. Ihr kommt, you plural come or are coming. Sie oder sie kommen, they or you formal come or are coming. Okay, that is it. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is spielen. Spielen, to play. Spielen, to play. Spielen. Repeat after me. Spielen. Pronunciation is key. So as usual, put down your personal pronouns. Yeah. Then the framework. So this is the last example I'm going to be using the framework with. So like I said, take away the en, that is the ending for most of the verbs. Then write the framework. Just write the framework down. Okay. Now, so what do you do? With the H you add E. With the do you add what? ST. With SES you add T. With VIE, back to original. EN. EE. T. Z oder Z. EN. Also back to original. Good. Okay, good, great, good. So now let's pronounce it. Spielen, to play. Spielen, S with consonant sound, like this SP. Yeah, it's not S, so not spielen, but spielen, like English SH, like as if there's a hidden E there, but there's not. That's how S sounds when it meets consonants like P, T, and so on and so forth. So spielen, spielen. So ich spiele, I play. Or I'm playing. Du spielst, you play or you are playing. Oder sie oder es spielt, he or she or it plays or is playing. Wir spielen, we play or we are playing. Ihr spielt, you plural play or you are playing. Sie oder sie spielen, they or you formal play or are playing. That is it. Okay, good, great. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 more for you. I'm going to add 2 more for you. By this time, we are going to go straight to the conjugation. Direct. Straight to the conjugation. Okay, let's conjugate the verb to laugh. It's a very common word. To laugh. Okay, to laugh. That is lieben, to laugh. Lieben, to laugh. Lieben, to laugh. So I write down my personal pronouns. So we are going straight ahead. Now you know, you've seen the pattern. So to conjugate, ich liebe, I laugh. Du liebst, du liebst. Oder sie oder es liebt, liebt. Wir lieben, ihr liebt. Sie oder sie lieben. Good. See, it wasn't so hard. Yeah, that is how it is. So you have to memorize this pattern and solve a lot of examples so that it sticks once and for all, because you need this. So whilst you are speaking, you are actively conjugating. So this is a very important step when you want to speak German fluently. Okay, let's go to the next verb. Next verb is also another common word. Let's say kochen. Kochen is to cook. Yeah, this word is for the ladies mostly. Kochen, to cook. To cook. So let's look at this one. So you're going to conjugate directly. Now we've seen the pattern. So ich koche, I cook or I'm cooking. Du kochst, du kochst. Du kochst. Oder sie oder es kocht. Oder sie oder es kocht. Wir kochen. Ihr kocht. Sie oder sie kochen. Kochen. So you can see the pattern. Right. Good. Great. 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 Good. Yeah, so that is it basically. So I'm going to cut the lesson short here, and basically we are going to continue in the next session with the sentence formation structure using the conjugations, of course. But I want to leave you with a parting gift. So I'm going to give you some verbs that you can conjugate on your own, and you can use to practice, and you can learn them so that as time goes on you can use them to form sentences. So let me give you some examples. Example is called Beispiel. So I'm using the plural, so to be Beispiele with e at the end. Beispiele, examples. So I'm giving you some example of verbs that I want you to learn as far as your foundation is concerned. So learn these words for me. So repeat after me. Trinken. Trinken means to drink. Trinken, to drink. Trinken, to drink. We have meinen. Meinen can mean to mean or to think. It depends on the context. Meinen. EI is I sound. We also have denken. Denken means to think. These are all regular verbs. Denken, to think. So you see, you should be able to use these to form sentences. And so that's where your mind should be going to. Fragen, to ask. To ask, the verb to ask. Fragen, to ask. We have suchen. Suchen. I told you one S sounds as Z. One S followed by a vowel sounds as Z. Suchen. Suchen, to search. We have also schreiben, E-I sound. Schreiben, to write. Schreiben, to write. We have lernen, to learn. Lernen, to learn. How do you say I'm learning German or I learn German? Ich lerne Deutsch, like for instance. That is what we'll be doing in the next session, sentence formation, putting these verbs to use in real sentences that concern our everyday lives. That is the next step. You don't want to miss it. We have schwimmen, to swim. Schwimmen, W is V sound. Always remember that. Schwimmen, to swim. We also have besuchen, to visit. Learn these words. Very important. You should know these verbs. And later on you can use them to form sentences. Then we have leihen. Leihen is to lend or to borrow. Leihen. Then we have also leben, to live. Then we have also wohnen, to stay or to reside. Wohnen, to stay or to reside. Wohnen. We have hören, to hear or to listen. Hören. O umlaut is called ö. O umlaut, meaning O with two dots on top. It's called ö. So hören, to hear or to listen. To hear or listen. Then we have verstehen, V is F sound. Remember that. Verstehen, to understand. Verstehen, to understand. So if you want to say I understand, you should be able to say what? Ich verstehe, I understand. So you see, very important. We'll come to that. Then we have bringen, to bring. Bringen, to bring. Then we have zeigen, to show. EII. Z is T sound, remember. So when it comes to Z, focus on T. Zeigen. Okay. Then we have kaufen, to buy. Very important. Keep the words. Then we have verkaufen. Verkaufen, to sell. Verkaufen, to sell. V is F sound. Verkaufen, to sell. Then we have also bleiben. Bleiben. Bleiben, to stay or remain. Bleiben, to stay or remain. Bleiben, to stay or remain. Then we also have backen. Backen, to bake. Backen, to bake. To bake. Backen, to bake. We have brauchen. Brauchen, to need. Brauchen, to need. Brauchen, to need. Then we also have benutzen. Benutzen, to use. Benutzen, to use. Benutzen, to use. So to see sound, remember. Good. So on this note, we bring the lesson to an end. See you in the next video. Thank you very much. Don't forget to share and like and subscribe to this channel. And you can always contact Fast Track German if you want to learn German with us. We have courses which last for 2 months, or let's say 8 weeks, for each level: A1, A2, B1 and B2. I'll shed more light on that in subsequent lessons. See you soon. Bye. Tschüss.